What up, guys? Live Eventually checking in. Nice to meet you. Got a great one for you. The power of the snowball method. How to pay off debt fast. God, about 77% of Americans are in debt. It's potentially more if you've seen the news now watching. Maybe actually 85 at the time of us recording this video. So we're going to break it down, give you a nice, simple method to pay down debt fast with the snowball method. What is the snowball method? Essentially, all the snowball method is paying off the smallest amount of debt you have first, getting those little victories. The pros of this method is that you'll be mentally stimulated to continue to keep paying off debt since you see yourself getting those quick rewards, quick gains, you're being stimulated, right? The con of this method is you may pay a little bit more debt interest over a period of time, but on a per person basis, this seems to be the best method because it keeps you stimulated and keeps you in a good habit of paying off debt.
All right, guys, what you need to do, you need to get out a sheet of paper and you need to list your lowest amount of debt to your highest amount of debt. And then you need to include the interest rates, the minimum payments, the APR per year. You need all these details to understand your debt, to understand how it's accumulating so you can begin to send it down.
All right, guys, so for the purpose of this example, you're gonna say you have a Visa card at $4,000 of debt, 0 APR, so no interest for 18 months, and the minimum payment is $75. Then you have a Chase card, which you accumulate $6,000 of debt at 18% interest rate, and the minimum payment of this card is $100 a month. And lastly, you're gonna have the Discover card. This is one of the first credit cards you got. You're being very reckless, and you got $8,000 of debt on there, and the interest rate is 30%. And the minimum payment for this card is $200 a month. So with all that being said, which card do we start with paying the debt first? If you said the Visa card, you are correct. So we're gonna walk you through the steps on how to do this thing the right way.
All right, guys, here is the game plan. What you're gonna do is you're gonna pay 3 times the amount of the minimum payment. This is going to be the Visa card. And with doing that, that is going to be 75 times 3, which brings you to $225, and you will be able to pay that off within the next 18 months. All right, guys, so now that the Visa debt is wiped out, it's obliterated, you're free of that, let's move towards the Chase debt. Now you're gonna be paying $300 towards that debt to bring that down. All right, guys, now that you're done with the Chase and the Visa debt, we're gonna move towards the Discover debt. Now you're gonna be paying $600 over the next several months to get that debt down.
Remember, that debt was at 30% a month, right? So you wanna be very, very aggressive with this one, and this one is saved for last. And during this whole time, you're still making minimum payments on the other credit card while you're still paying them down. And now that they're wiped out and you're no longer using those credit cards, just forget where they are, you're gonna have $600 to put towards that last Discover debt. 3x the minimum debt, right? You want to 3x the minimum debt. You gotta 3x. In order for this thing to work effectively, you gotta 3x the debt. Points to remember, you wanna 3x the minimum payment. 3x the minimum payment. Whatever the minimum payment is, you wanna 3x it. In order for this thing to work effectively, you must 3x the minimum payment. If you don't do it, it won't work in an effective time. Second thing, you are not allowed to accumulate more debt. So just put those credit cards away, just hide them. And the third thing to remember is stick with this method. It could take, depending on your debt, it could take 1 year up to 5 years to effectively pay down debt depending on the amount that you have. So keep these 3 points in mind.
All right, guys, some things to consider when dealing with debt and credit cards. Guys, consider getting a side hustle. Use that side hustle money to pay down these debts, to put extra payments toward these debts. Guys, the snowball method works when you have money coming in where you're able to do these and make extra payments and make times 3 the minimum payment. So make sure you're accumulating and having an income that comes in so you can do that. Guys, sell things around your house to get a little extra cash. Maybe you have some extra furniture laying around. Maybe you have an extra parking spot in your garage that you could rent out for people. think about that. There's definitely apps and websites, and you have to go back and look at some of our other episodes to see that, but definitely check those out. And lastly, guys, we all want to be macho. We all want to have a good time. We want to travel. We want to drink. We want to be on the beach. We want to go do certain things out in Vail, such as skiing and snowboarding. But guess what, guys? You have to make lifestyle changes if you're going to effectively pay down debt. You have to be able to make extra payments. You have to have income coming in. And the best way to do it is to lower your expenses, how much you're spending going out, eating, drinking, whatever it may be. Make sure that you have money to make extra payments, guys. Well, that concludes the snowball method of paying down debt, guys. Look this over, write some of these things down. Let's get debt free. Let's make money. Let's become wealthy. Debt is the root of all evil in terms of credit cards. That is not necessarily a bad thing, which we'll discuss in later episodes, but credit card debt is never a good thing. Guys, as always, comment, subscribe, like, live adventurously. The world is yours.